Hey guys, it's Abby. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you a new installment in my newest series of Facing Your Makeup Fears, and today I'm going to talk about and show you how to use a brow pomade such as the Anastasia Brow Wiz or the NYX Layman frame, I think it's called. I used to have it, I don't have it anymore, so I don't remember what it's called. But, so if you haven't seen it, this is what it looks like here. It's just in a little glass pot. And the product is there. And what I love about Anastasia and these kind of products is they have such a huge range of colors to choose from. So even someone as fair as me up to pretty much black hair and in between like the red and brunette, or you're going to find a color that would suit your brows. But this is not the most natural looking option. I mean, you can get it to look somewhat natural if you are careful, but this is going to be for more of your Instagram full-on type of brows. So if you want a more natural look, I would suggest to get a brow pencil. Or this one from NYX, which the Anastasia one looks pretty much exactly like this. It might be a little bit longer, but it's double the price. I mean, this one is normally $10 and the Anastasia one's 21-ish. And I mean, to me, like the shade taupe that I wear is exactly the same in both, so you know, I prefer the NYX one. But it just depends if you are, I mean, if you're watching my channel, maybe you're into cruelty-free makeup, you know, so NYX is owned by a parent company, so if you're not okay with that, then I would go with the Anastasia one. Or even a different option, I have this one from e.l.f. This one is $2 or $3. I don't remember exactly, but the difference is that the e.l.f. one is just a lot wider. So if you have really thick brows and you just want like an all-over color and don't necessarily care about the thin, you know, brow strokes, then this one is a good option. But there's not much product in this one at all, so the e.l.f. one is definitely of a little bit lesser quality, and it doesn't last very long. But if you want something that's going to last a long time, the Anastasia one is it. I had it on yesterday. Normally my eyebrows are translucent pretty much because of my blonde hair, and I tried to take it off and it didn't really even come off. So in the Brow Wiz, I would apply that with a small angled brush, like this one from Sonia Kashuk, or Anastasia has one that they sell, but it's quite expensive in my opinion. You can get a decent one like this one from Sonia Kashuk. These are available at Target, or you can get the Real Technique, which, let me show you the Real Techniques one. So the Real Techniques one is quite a bit larger, so I only have ever used this in my brows if I was using like a brow powder, which is a whole nother thing. I don't really like powders on myself. I used to fill them in with an eyeshadow. You can get these little brushes pretty much from any brand. You can get like the dollar Walmart brushes or the e.l.f. ones. Even like e.l.f. has ones that are pretty similar to this, but they're not as stiff, whereas the hairs on this Sonia Kashuk brush are more stiff, so they're going to be, this is going to give you like a more precise line, I think. Alright, and then to apply this, I just take a little bit, I just tap the brush into it, just like a little bit. Don't like dig product out because it's going to be way too much. So you just want to get barely any on the tip of your brush, and then I even wipe off the sides of it just so there's not too much, because a little bit of this goes a long way. Okay, so I'm just going to start with that little tiny bit of product on the brush, and I usually start kind of toward the middle because the arch is here, and I call this kind of like the middle or the thickest part of the brow, and this is the tail on this end. So I don't want to start at the tail. I don't want to start in the middle or in the center right here, just because you don't want a whole lot of product there, and it's going to be way easier to blend out if you start like kind of here and work your way up and over. This step would actually be really easy if you had really thin brows, but I don't. So I'm just going to put a little bit, not really exactly at the bottom where I want, but just kind of like in the center. And I just swipe it that way. then once you get that blended out, you can kind of bring it down a little bit to where you want the bottom of your brow to stop. And then I just keep doing this until there's like no product left on the brush, because this little bit could probably do my whole brow, honestly, but I might get just a tad more. And then you just want to drag up on the arch part. And then once I get to the upper part of the tail, I'll kind of turn my brush down this way and bring it down like that so I can see what I'm doing. Because if I have it like this, I can't really see where the brush is going. So I kind of have like a general shape now, so I'm going to get a little more on the brush, just a tad. And I don't make it a really sharp, like precise tail, because I just think that looks like way too unnatural, which, as if this doesn't look unnatural to begin with. And I always seem to go too far, like here. You want this to be, you want your whole brow to go up and around, and I keep like doing it like this. This is one of those things that you would want to practice maybe at night before you like go to bed. So you take your makeup off from the day before or from that day, and then practice this so you can just take it off without having to worry about trying to fix it when you're trying to get ready in the morning. That's how I definitely learned to do this, because it is not the easiest technique. It's looking a little wonky here. And this thing about this product is you can't just like wipe it off with your finger kind of and fix it. It's on there. If you have like one of those e.l.f. what's it called, like the eye makeup remover pens, those are amazing, especially if you're trying to do like wing liner or something and you mess up. You just take that little pen and erase it. Those would be good for brows. Now once I get to the front of the brow, I kind of go like this, just in shorter motions. And then, depending on how thick your brow is, you might be able to get away with this. But I turn the brush like straight up and down, and then go like that to make that corner kind of even. And then I'll just take it flat again and keep going. I think this side looks okay for now. What I usually have to do is I'll do one side then the other, and then I'll kind of get really close to the mirror and look. A good way to tell if your brows are even or not, just because of like depending on what lighting situation you're in, there will be like shadows kind of messing up your view of it. So if you just put your hands like above your forehead, then it kind of shields like that light, and you can see exactly if they're even or not. So that's what I do every single time, just to make sure that they're more even, and then I can touch up as needed, add more here, or try to take some off over here. Okay, so I just did that on both sides where I put it too far down on the arch. So what I'm going to do is take another brush. Step is totally optional if you have like makeup remover handy and you can kind of fix it. But I don't really, so just going to take a teeny tiny little brush and just a concealer that matches my skin tone, not one that you use to highlight with or anything. I mean, some people do like carve out their brows with a lighter concealer color, but I'm not really into that. Then I'll take the concealer just all the way up under the brow so it doesn't look uneven or like I just have concealer in one little spot. Looks a little better. And also what I do, this is why that I fill in my brows before I do my eye makeup, is because if you do your brows this way, it's so easy to keep them in shape, because you can just, once you fill them in the way you want them, then you can tweeze out all the hairs around, instead of having to look and try to figure out, especially if you have blonde brows like me, to try to figure out where, you know, the exact shape that you want them, and if you don't have to worry about tweezing too far or doing too much. So now those are done. Now I'm going to take, this is totally optional depending on how long your brow hairs are. Mine are kind of long. So I'm going to use this clear brow gel. This is the NYX Control Freak. You can also use a tinted brow gel if you want, but I don't think it's really necessary. This one has a huge wand, kind of like a mascara, but the Anastasia one, if you don't want to spend the extra money for that, it has a little tiny wand that gets more precise in there. But this, I feel like, just kind of helps to disperse the color, make it not so bold, and, you know, just helps to make it look a little more natural. Especially if you kind of sweep it up like this, and then just go back and like flatten them out there. And if you have longer brows like me, it keeps them from like getting everywhere. Alright guys, so that was it for this video on how to use the Anastasia Dipbrow. Let me know if you have any suggestions for future videos in this series. I'm planning to do wing liner, lashes, maybe cut crease. I haven't quite figured that one out myself yet. And liquid lipstick. I think a lot of people are scared of liquid lipstick, so I think that would be a good one. And oh, and bronze and contour too. So let me know if you have any other suggestions, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.